set to go now on a beautiful sunny afternoon. And off we go from MetLife Stadium. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Rodgers going to the air to start things out. And right off the bat, look at him lay out there and make the grab. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. First carry for the Iowa State man, Breece Hall. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. On play action, it's Rodgers. He completes that, and he lost the football, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. Room to maneuver at the 35. He's still on his feet. And he has brought this one back. A fumble recovery for a Chiefs touchdown. And he has great speed, defensive back speed. Once he got it and took off, there was no catching it.
And I know every team tells you to hustle no matter what the play, but there was no chance of catching him. Maybe if it had been a defensive tackle running with the ball, but not in this case.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 7-0. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kicks away following that fumble return. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Throwing on first down is Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. 2nd and a couple. Now Rodgers going to shift him around. Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. Flush to his right. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. Now to throw. This pass out wide to Hall. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
On 2nd down, a run with Hall. And he'll get out near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. A pair of first downs gives them a 1st and 10 up at the 44. Now they'll change things around before the snap. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Open man here is Conklin. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Now Rodgers. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
So it looks like they stopped some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Now it's Rodgers. Throw left side complete. That's Hall. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. it's Rodgers. Going in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. Touchdown! Tyler Conklin, a 20-yard touchdown. And the Jets are an extra point away from drawing level. Zerline connects on the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And a great return, solid field position. He's up all the way to the 45-yard line.
Well, that return gives them a golden opportunity to go out in front. How will the defense respond after giving up that type of a return?
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. Meanwhile, Mahomes' throw here complete to Kelsey. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down. Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
Mahomes now on 1st down. No hesitations, they go right back to Kelsey. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the 1st quarter of play. Given back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another 1st down. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. Throwing the out route here, and it's complete to Kelsey. It's so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. 23 yards, the final tally.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
Hunt is in. Touchdown, Chiefs. Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in. And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done. Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 14-7. Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one. It's through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. After that last score we just saw, now 14-7, so a chance to march down the field here, try to tie this football game. They'll start on the ground. Hall. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage. Throw left side is complete on the diving effort. Rodgers wants to change the look. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. It's a gain of 34. Well, partner, I have to say they caught him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender. Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right? Not at all. I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I love to come downfield and hit you little people. Good run there. Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. Flushed out right. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. stop will come inside the 5 and the 4. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. Now Rodgers. Touchdown, Jets. Brees Hall from 4 yards out. And the Jets are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. Now Zerline on and the extra point. And we've got a good one going. We're all knotted up at 14. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. These two teams trading touchdowns here in what has been a back-and-forth first half.
And ordinarily, we're trying to figure out how to break out of a stalemate. Here, you're trying to figure out if you can slow someone down while continuing your breakneck.
And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Xavier Worthy, 75 yards. Butker on for the PAT. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. Kenedawagu now out of his end zone. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. New York offense taking over for their next possession. And now last drive so successful with the ground game, ending in a touchdown. Do you stick with that formula?
That would be the number one thing you would think of, but so many guys now would look at it and say, we've got them set up so well for play action. Now's the time to take a shot.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a big-time coach in the state of Ohio who once said, if you throw the ball, if you put it in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. People kiss it on the ground.
Rodgers now on first down. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Now a play fake. Rodgers. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Caught by Wilson. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first. Now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They're going to line up to go for this on 4th down. Rodgers stays on the field. They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. Going for the deep ball. And that is incomplete. The Jets try it, but the 4th down play doesn't work. And the Chiefs defense comes up with a stop. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, you and I both been to practices where we've seen, hey, third down situation, big third down alert, lock in here, fourth down play, make sure you're focused just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
Here's Mahomes to throw. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. That one covers 29 yards, first down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
Good defensive call right there because they had someone shadowing him along his entire route. And he was right there ready to provide a hit that prevents him from making another catch to his big start.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing now is Mahomes. DeAndre Hopkins making the catch. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Mahomes finding the talented DeAndre Hopkins. And the Chiefs will extend their lead here just before halftime.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. So time enough for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And with Rodgers behind center, you wonder if they'll take one shot at this. A final shot before half for Rodgers. He'll let this go for Adams. That is incomplete. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Ready for the start of the third quarter. The Chiefs have the lead and set to receive the football.
That's a tremendous start to the third quarter. These guys had their foot on the gas the entire first half. They continue to keep the accelerator down.
The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well. And most importantly, partner,
yeah, they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
2nd down and 8. Mahomes going to throw. This one complete. It's Rashee Rice. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. They go play action. Now Mahomes. Got a man over the middle, Worthy. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off.
To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his 2nd incompletion.
Well, if he's not locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may give the credit. A lot of people making plays behind him in the field. Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Setting up the screen to P. Ryan. And he's going to lose yards. as they take him down at the 26. They call it a loss of a yard there, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play, but no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Well, they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Now Hall to start the drive. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
But these guys going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They'll go again with Hall. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Oh, I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big 3rd down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
Rodgers to throw for it on 4th. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Now Rodgers. One, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Nick Bolton. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. On 1st and 10, here's Pacheco. Down to the 42, 2nd down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Man, they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
The throw on the quick slant going to be complete. That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a 1st down to boot. Now Patrick going to change the play. On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. That ball caught. It's Rice. Touchdown. Rashee Rice. 34 yards. And the Chiefs are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. Extra point by Butker is on target, and the lead is now 24. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
He's not even that bad.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Rodgers. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this 3rd quarter of play. The offense on 3rd down Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. And this doesn't end well at all as they stop it far behind the line to gain. The Jets try it, but the 4th down play doesn't work. And the Chiefs will have the football back in excellent field position. That's into the hands of Worthy. On the gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Mahomes to throw on 2nd down. That's into the hands of Worthy once again. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Now they'll change things up. To throw, it's Mahomes. Buying time to his left. This is caught. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion and would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal now, mere inches from pay dirt. Pacheco once more. And good work there defensively. So able to keep him out of the end zone. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
There have not been a lot of great moments for this defense throughout this game. Finally, they have one they can hang their hat on. A nice stop there.
Can this defense hold them out? Here we go now. 4th and goal from the 2. Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They try to throw on 4th and goal from the 2, and the Jets are going to get the football back. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he was very fortunate there to get out of his end zone. He maybe got back to the 2-yard line. In his own end zone, it's Rodgers. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. And it's out. He put it on the carpet. Oh, and one of the linebackers has got it. There he goes, right side. And he'll get this back down to about the 12-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
It's going to be a nice pickup, but he also takes a pretty good lick at the end of that one. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
2nd and 3 with the ball sitting on the 5. Mahomes going to hand it off to Hunt. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On 3rd down, it's Pacheco. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. Mahomes going to throw it here. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down just inside the 5-yard line. The former 3rd overall pick, Quentin Williams there to bring him down.
That I'm struggling to understand a little bit. That close to the goal line, 1st down.
run the football. If you want to throw it, throw some play action on second down.
Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. Now Mahomes going to shift him around. On second down, here's Mahomes. Under pressure, and they got to him again. The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout. And as the two teams talking over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
So once again, they dial up the pressure and get home and get a sack. It brings up a 3rd and long, but it's really not an unmakeable one, especially considering they just gave up back-to-back sacks.
Here's Mahomes, 3rd and goal. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play.
And it with a 40 ball.
No matter who's on the field.
Oh, 40 ball.
Bucker's kick here is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately, not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once we were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. 2nd and 10. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Got plenty of timeouts. Might as well use them.
One final try now for Rodgers. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Left sideline, a dive, and it looks like he's got it.
GG. Good fucking game.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off season, but on game day, you both want to show your best, and I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
Second half shutout. You know it. Whew. Sheesh.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to EASports.com. With that, we say so long from MetLife Stadium.
Adios.